good morning. It's Wednesday again, guys.
Yeah, it's time to talk antiques.
Yeah, and Ronnie, I noticed you got a script there, so I guess we're going to go script and non-script.
Well, not really a script. I just have a little background information.
I wish it was a script so I could mess you up there,
Yeah, that's always fun. I really like it when you do that. But no, I just brought a little background information. We're going to be talking about, some Viewmasters today, and thought I'd went to Wikipedia and thought I'd get a little background on how they originated, and we'd go from there. And then we've got some prices.
The stereotype is first. That was pre-Viewmasters, right?
Yeah, the stereoscope is what they call them, and you actually
stereotype
have one here.
Yeah, we have one of each, the Viewmaster and the stereotype.
Mm-hmm. And the earliest type of stereoscope, it says, was invented by Sir Charles Wheatstone. We've got to make sure and get that Sir in there now. In 1838. And it used a pair of mirrors set at 45-degree angles to the user's eyes, which is kind of like a little prism set in the middle, and you got a picture on each side. Now, you got to think, back in 1838, they didn't have photography at that time, so they had little pictures of landscape drawings that they set on there, and they used them. They could make them, different sizes.
What it does, too, is you have two identical pictures, and when you look into it, whether it be the Viewmaster or this stereoscope, it makes the picture look 3D.
Right.
So it's the early version of 3D. I mean, everybody thinks 3D is a big deal, like when you go and see the Star Wars movies or the Titanic, or I'm just thinking some of the huge productions.
And the TVs are
But in 1845, this guy had already made them.
Yeah, then the televisions are getting to be in 3D, and all you video games, but this is not a new concept, but it's a take on an old concept. And even
I think he was right here, Ronnie.
Yeah, even the Google.
Put you back where you was.
Well, the Google Cardboard, I was thinking of something else.
Yeah, well.
That you saw, or you print out a little cardboard, and it worked with the camera. Worked on the same principle, except the camera, brought up the pictures. Basically the same thing.
I think our producer said you could get that in a cheap version, which was cardboard, and then you could pay a little bit more and get a better.
Viewmaster makes one now.
Oh, Viewmaster makes one now? That works with the Android cameras, or just any type of camera?
Android phone.
Android, okay. But anyway, after the Wheatstone stereoscope, it says, common assertion, David Brewster did not invent the stereoscope, and he himself, tried to make that clear that he didn't invent it himself. And he says that a mathematics teacher named Mr. Elliot from Edinburgh conceived the idea as early as 1823, and then 1839 he made a simple stereoscope without lenses or mirrors, and it was just a wooden box about 18 inches long, and it was about 7 inches wide, and it was about 4 inches high. And it was used to view, like I say, drawn landscape transparencies, because, photography hadn't been invented yet. But Brewster's contribution to the device was the use of lenses.
Well, I wonder do you think if you look into that early version without the lenses, would it appear 3D anyway?
I wouldn't think so, would you?
I mean, what would be the purpose of it then?
I wouldn't think so, and unless maybe they were bent in an angle, or I don't know how you would see them, because I've never saw one, and I didn't see a picture of one of those when I was researching this.
But it must have been, because it must have done some kind of an illusion, or it wouldn't have been practical.
Right, and it said that the Wheatstone version, we read here earlier, had the mirror in there, to do it, but it didn't say how he done it with his, and like I say, I couldn't find an example of it when I was looking that up.
Well, it had to have done something like creating a 3D type illusion, or it wouldn't have been.
Right.
What would have been the purpose of it?
Right. Just been looking at a picture in a box.
Yeah, I mean, so evidently it must do.
It done something. But Brewster's contribution, like we say, was the use of the lenses that united the pictures, into one 3D image. And in 49, according...
Is that 1849?
1849, yeah. We're not talking about 1949. We're talking about 1849.
Yeah.
It's a ways back. And accordingly, they called it the lenticular stereoscope, lens-based. Mm-hmm. And they said that was his invention because of the lenses. And it also allowed a reduction in the size, which made them, you could make it smaller so that it could be a handheld device. And it quickly became known as the Brewster stereoscope. And it was really admired by Queen Victoria when they were demonstrated at the Great Exhibition of 1851. And, well, because Queen Victoria's picture was the one they were using. I'd say I would admire that too.
But if nobody's ever looked into one of these things, Ronnie, most people my age have absolutely, and even the young man across.
I have when I was little.
Yeah.
I remember having them. We had the red one. We had something kind of like that when I was little.
The Viewmaster.
Even Keith, as young as he
Mickey
is,
Mouse and
Right.
Goofy and some of them.
And they looked like 3D, didn't like
yeah.
you could reach in and actually pick them up.
Right.
So, that back then in 1851, whenever that was introduced at the World's Fair, is that what you said? Or
At the Great Exhibition.
Yeah, well, I mean, that had to be, groundbreaking.
Oh, that was really something back then, because they had never seen anything like that. Especially, a handheld device, like that one you have here. You were passing it around a while ago. I think he missed that. But yeah, they're really.
Don't you know that
really neat to look at.
They probably all got together and actually, the family would sit around the fire, and they would. I'll tell you where the money was too in this stuff. Is the photography side of it. Once they started doing the photography,
right,
going out and shooting these different scenes. They even done like the Civil War battle scenes. I mean, that's some high dollar cards.
And they were more popular than postcards. They would actually replace postcards for a while there, which was how they got their start. Wish you were here and show the scene. Mm-hmm. It said that Brewster, he couldn't find anybody in Britain that was capable of working with his design, so he took it to France, where it was improved on, and they made the stereoscopic, what did we say, daguerreotypes? Mm-hmm. And a famous picture with the picture of Queen Victoria we were talking about a while ago that was displayed at the exhibition. And almost overnight, the 3D industry developed, and they said 250,000 of those stereoscopes were produced, and of course lots and lots more of the cards and the stereographs were sold in just a very short time, and 250,000 units at that time. That was a lot of units.
Well, you gotta realize the distribution difference between today,
right,
and then when you're talking in the 1850s.
That was a lot back then.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
That would be equal to probably something, like the what is that new wristwatch phone that's come out? I don't know how many of them things they've sold.
The Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Over a million.
So think about that. I mean, over $1 million.
Just for starters.
Yeah.
I just know how many
So that's
sold
basically
now.
250,000 just for starters.
Right. But now also...
Let's take a break on that.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Okay, just before the break, you was you going to do this part of it too?
Well, we can go back and hit on that just a little bit, and I didn't want to confuse
Now, the reason
people.
we're going on back to hit on this is that you was thinking our listeners probably wouldn't understand this. We got some smart listeners, Ronnie.
Well, it told how the two mirrors at the 45-degree angles to the user's eyes and reflecting the picture off to the side, it demonstrated the importance of what's called binocular depth perception by showing that when two pictures simulating left eye and right eye views of the same object are presented so that each eye sees only the image designed for it, but apparently in the same location, how the brain actually fuses the two to accept them as one solid three-dimensional object.
Yeah, and like this piece here that I brought, this older piece, it's got a divider to keep your eyes separated, and Philip pointed that out.
For that reason.
Right.
I get that for that reason. But the in 1861 is the next one we were going to talk about. Oliver Wendell Holmes actually created, but he deliberately didn't patent a handheld, streamlined, much more economical viewer than had been available before. The stereoscopes, which date back from the 1850s, consisted of two prismatic lenses and a wooden stand to hold the stereo card. This type of stereoscope remained in production for about a century, and there's still companies making them in limited quantities currently, and it's primarily American, although it's often named the Mexican stereoscope. And then modern use in the mid-20th century, the 1938-39, the Viewmaster stereoscope, patented in 1939, with its rotating cardboard disc containing image pairs, was popular first for virtual tourism and then as a toy. In 2010, Hasbro started producing a stereoscope designed to hold an iPhone or an iPod Touch, called the My 3D. And then in 2014, which is what we were talking about a while ago, Google released the template for the papercraft stereoscope called Google Cardboard. Apps on the mobile phone substitute for the stereo cards. Now, the thing about the Viewmasters is they come on a little disc, and there were 14 pictures on the disc, and each one had the two, and as it rotated, you would see.
Which we have here now. We have a little Viewmaster here, and this one I brought today.
That's about a 50s or 60s.
Yeah, it's the 50s. It's Gene Autry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Gene Autry.
Yeah, you could get Batman, Superman, all kinds of different ones. Like you said, even land scenes or battle scenes or whatever. And as you flipped them, it changed the scene so you could actually see like a little battle.
I remember when I was a kid, just about everything was promoted with Viewmaster. You could get a Viewmaster for just about everything. I remember a lot of the TV shows, and you would get the Viewmasters with scenes from the TV shows that were popular at the time.
Do they still sell these?
Yeah, they still sell. I'm sure they still sell Viewmasters. I'm sure they do, Ray.
Those things are very popular back in my day.
Yes.
At one point, they actually made a camera where you could take your own pictures. It had a little flash on it, and it would make your own stereoscope.
Like a double.
That'd be scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and they were real popular, and they're bringing good money right now. I looked up some of this stuff. they're still bringing good money. They had projectors.
Yeah.
To project the
3D
scenes.
projectors?
3D projectors, now these that I've got right here are all sold items. I checked for sold listings. We had one that was a restored Viewmaster. They called it the Stereomatic 500 3D projector. It's about $750. He actually sold two of them, one on the first and one on the second. So he probably must have had a couple of those. There was a vintage lot of Batman items with the Viewmaster included. Of course, the Batman items bring good money anyway, but they brought $760, and there were 30 bids on it. That's a lot of interest. They had a restored Viewmaster, another Stereomatic 500 3D projector with a halogen light. It brought $499.95. Now there's a guy that I was reading in one of the collectors' sites that restores these, and he'll make them LED or whatever you want. Which I thought was kind of interesting.
That LED would last longer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and some nice advertisement pieces for the personal Viewmaster I was talking about. One of the signs says "Take your vacation home," and it was advertising the little cameras that made the pictures. It brought $500. And like David said, here was a Viewmaster World War II box set. Range estimator is $495. Viewmaster Chinese art set, 4 books, Model D, brought $413.96. I don't think he brought that. I think he brought the best offer because they had a line through it, so I think it brought the best offer. Now, I was reading where they actually had a set of medical atlases made with these Viewmasters, and I did find one when I was looking those up. It was 1961. It brought it had $999.99, but it also had best offer accepted, so I think it brought the best offer. And it says one of the Holy Grail blue Viewmaster bakelite model. Now, the older Viewmasters and the True Views and stuff like that, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, were made with the bakelite, like the cameras, the harder plastic.
I think wasn't that bakelite, wasn't it developed during World War II, or was it pre-World War II?
I was wanting to say pre-World War II, but you may be right. But it brought $451.59 just for the Viewmaster.
Yeah.
And, looking at these, the design hasn't changed a whole lot over the years.
I'll tell you, any child would enjoy those Viewmasters. Any child.
Oh, I loved them.
Sit for
I had
hours and
several.
look at those things.
But I wished I had them. I wished I had them back. There's no telling what
Well,
happened to them.
you can get them back. All you got to do is go to eBay.
Yeah, just go.
You
to
can buy
eBay.
your childhood back. It's just how much.
How much am I willing to pay for my childhood?
Yeah.
That's the question. But here's a Cadillac. It says Cadillac Realistic 3D Lighted Viewmaster Vintage Advertising Glass Slides Caddy, $402.98. Now, what that is, I do not know, but it had 4 bids. David may know what that is. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No.
I hadn't either.
But that don't mean nothing.
No,
That's
it
a
means
lot of
very
stuff I
little.
haven't
There's
seen.
so much stuff out there. It's hard to keep up with all. That person really needs to specialize nowadays. 1950s and 60s family home personal photos. This was some of that Viewmaster personal. A lot of interest. 12 bids. That little lot brought $438.
This early Viewmaster that I brought. I just noticed that they had one just like it on here. Now, the one I've got here in front of us is really engraved a lot. Of course, it needs a good cleaning, but I'm not
Now,
the person.
that's a real stereoscope.
Yeah,
that was
yes.
one of the
Now,
predated the Viewmaster.
Yes. It actually brought $199, this particular one.
And I was reading that the average ones, brought like $50 or $60
Yes,
because, but yours is yours has got the silver
well, only
on it.
because of the sterling silver
Yes.
on it, with the fancy work on it. So I'd say that was in some rich person's house. What do you say?
I would say so too.
Now,
To have something like
the
that.
other little Viewmaster that I brought, I noticed that they had a group of them, like 6 of them or something, Ronnie. Let me just get back to that. Well, it looked like it was like 6 or 8 of them, and they were like $26 for the little plastic Viewmaster that I brought here.
No telling
today.
what the reels
Not
are
counting
bringing.
the cards, you know, just the. Here we go. It's 16 Sawyer Viewmasters, and they brought $26.52. So you know, what I did I bought several of them, and I took the Western, you know, like Roy Rogers, Gene Archer, Hopalong Cast. I had all those different ones, and I put a card in each one of them,
Right.
so you could actually pick it up if you wanted to look at the Gene Archer, the Roy Rogers, whatever. Like Keith said earlier, you know, there's Mickey Mouse and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's unlimited what you can see on them.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that here in just
All right,
a minute.
you had some more stuff that's sold, hadn't you?
Yeah, I've got some more stuff that's sold. We have a vintage lot of 48 Viewmaster personals, like we were talking about, 1957 South America. Brought $386. There was 23 bids on those.
That just goes to show you that history still sells, and geography.
Always, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there's people today who would like to see that. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of the stuff that was shot back then,
And
you probably not the same today. You know, like the rainforest, it's not the same today as it was in the 50s.
No, a lot of it's gone,
Yeah.
and a lot of the historic monuments are gone.
Sure.
You know, wars have decimated
Yes.
lots of monuments of antiquity, and you know things. You know, people just. And there's a lot. They like seeing the stuff that people have made themselves. You know, not just the photographers went out and a crew. They like to see from the individual's perspective. I think. I had. Let's see. We had a lot here of 125 of the personal vacation Viewmaster reels, like you were talking about, from Spain, Lisbon,
Now, this is
Seville,
just
and
the
Madrid.
reels.
This is just the reels now. $295.
I'm telling you, geography sells, history sells.
Oh,
I tell you what, we're going to have to take a break here.
Okay.
And just before we do, I noticed on TV the other day that you was talking about the wars and stuff. During World War II, this lady had a Picasso, a drawing, and you know where she hid it? In a sewing machine.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw it, yeah.
And didn't they say that
20 and 30 million is what they worth.
So she left a note for her nephew. I think it was her nephew, wasn't it? To where it was at,
hid
and said he
under-
just under the sewing machine.
Sewing machine, yeah.
And a $20 or $30 million Picasso.
And they had it examined, and the guy says, as far as he can tell, the expert says it's for real.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
With that, let's take a break.
all right.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, we're back. You ready to go back to work?
I'm ready to go back to work. We've talked about a little of the history of the Viewmasters, and I kind of brought us up to date on some of that.
You know, Ronnie, Philip looked up something that you was going to mention when we come back.
Oh yeah, and I thought it was really neat. He showed us a picture of it. And would you say that was called now? The actual name of the product? Pardon me?
Viewmaster VR?
The Viewmaster VR you can buy at Walmart. It goes with your to go with an Android phone or an iPhone or
Mostly Android, but I think iPhones work.
mostly Android, but iPhone probably does have an app for it as well.
For $21.
For $21, isn't that something?
Yes.
And it's kind of
But
like
now this is a nice one. It's got a strap and it's a plastic in it.
kind of works like the Viewmaster Personal we were talking about, where you can take your own pictures and it changes the angle so that they're shown in 3D. I thought that was really neat. Of course, I don't have a phone like that, but most people do.
But you could buy one and wait till you get a phone. Sooner or later, you're going to get one if you keep those phones that you carried to work in. Eventually, they're probably going to quit making
Well,
them.
I've got several of them just in case,
Yeah.
I keep a few of those.
I can tell you using the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, well,
Always
you
be
always
prepared,
be prepared.
right?
That's the motto, yeah. But back to ours, it says Viewmasters were a modern continuance of the stereoscopes, which we talked about, which were optical instruments with two eyepieces used to impart a three-dimensional effect on two photographs of the same scene, taken at slightly different angles. Okay, so in 1931, the concept of viewing 3D photographs to a viewer was modernized thanks to TrueView, a company in Rock Island, Illinois. And from 31 until the company was sold to Viewmaster in 1951, TrueView manufactured stereoscopic film strips and Art Deco designed viewers made from Bakelite. When the film strips were placed in the viewers and held to a light, the images appeared to be three-dimensional. Now, TrueView primarily made the film strips based on travel, or beautiful scenes such as Old Faithful in Yellowstone National Park, like we were talking about a while ago. And as time passed by, TrueView added current events in its film strips. The most profitable 3D film strips that TrueView sold were strips based on Walt Disney characters. Now, Viewmaster was not TrueView's only competition. The Novel View, which was an American company, Sightseer for Britain, TrueView, which was a British version of TrueView, they were spelled differently, and a Chinese-made TrueView, which were all 3D stereoscopic devices that directly competed with TrueView and later Viewmaster. TrueView is considered historically important company, at least in the field of 3D imaging, since it bridged the gap between the old stereoscopes of the past and the new, more modern ones. Now, in 1951, Viewmaster, which was owned by Sawyer's Photo Service, purchased TrueView in order to obtain the exclusive contract TrueView had on Disney characters, which really was a good thing because they also got Disneyland when Disneyland opened. All the the postcards and the discs from Disneyland.
So they had the cards with the or these were little reels with all the Disneyland scenes.
That was a big thing back
Still
then.
is.
Yes. Each Viewmaster disc, like we were saying, it held 14 film sides, since it requires two images viewed simultaneously to create the 3D viewing. The 14 slides made 7 three-dimensional stereo photographs. While the patent for the Viewmaster, the Model A viewer, was not obtained until 1940, Viewmaster was introduced at the New York World's Fair in '39, and it was an instant success. Viewmaster was originally marketed to adults as a way for them to enjoy three-dimensional, colorful images of tourist attractions.
Well, if you think about it, that was before TV.
Yeah, like we were speaking about earlier, this is a big deal, for all the parks and... Yeah. Viewmaster was intended to compete directly with scenic postcards, which were highly popular. Two of the most popular Viewmaster discs were of the Grand Canyon and Carlsbad Caverns. As stated in 1951, Viewmaster bought the TrueView for the Disney contracts. This purchase offered Viewmaster three financial booms: elimination of competition, access to all the Disney characters, and like we were saying in 1955, photo access to Disneyland as another tourist attraction immortalized on viewing discs. In the 1950s, Viewmaster produced its personal line, which we were talking about, including its own 35mm camera that allowed customers to make their own Viewmaster discs. Also released in the 50s was the Viewmaster's Model D viewer, which is considered to be Viewmaster's highest quality 3D viewer, and Viewmaster's own 3D projector, which we were talking about some of their projectors earlier. They were bringing about $900.
Yeah, a lot of money.
The Stereomatic 500, that's the one we were looking at. The Viewmaster Model E viewer with bigger changing lever buttons and a deeper V, which is the little slot that they put the discs in. Emerged in 1955, and in 58 Viewmaster offered the Model F that had its own internal lighting source powered by a C-cell battery for overcast days. Seems like I remember one with a battery. I had one with a battery.
I've never had
believe.
one with a battery.
I think I did. It was during this heyday period that Viewmaster changed its image from an adult vacation viewer to a children's toy. The Model G in '62 was the first non-bakelite Viewmaster, making pre-Model 62s more valuable, which...
I'd say mine's a 62, wouldn't you? I'd say that's just simple plastic.
Right, the bakelite's the harder plastic, so
we know this is at least 62.
and we know if you find the bakelite with the harder plastics, you've got a more valuable Viewmaster. I learned a little something there. The thermoplastic now used to manufacture Viewmasters was vastly inferior to the former bakelite used. Through the years, Viewmaster changed hands several times. In 1997, Fisher-Price, a division of Mattel, purchased Viewmaster. In a greatly reduced capacity, Fisher-Price continues to manufacture Viewmasters today. Viewmaster TrueView and other 3D viewers and image cards are highly collectible today, and we saw that from some of the prices they're bringing. And I found lots of collectors clubs, you know, people that just collect the Viewmasters when I was researching this the other day.
They used to come out little round type things. You just slip them down in the top like that.
That's
Yeah,
what
like
that
that
is.
You used to buy a bunch of those at a time. I don't know whether they still sell them like that or not. I guess they do.
Yeah, they said that they still sell them in a limited capacity today. Some people may think that a plastic kid's toy that only showed pictures doesn't possess enough depth for a collection, but they would be wrong. Nearly 25 different models of Viewmasters alone have been manufactured using 3 different types of plastic: Kodak Tinite, bakelite, and thermoplastic. And special Viewmasters such as the 1976 red, white, and blue U.S. Bicentennial one will always be in style. Now, hundreds of millions of Viewmaster discs were made, making it almost a certainty that no collection will ever be complete. Viewmaster discs include old television shows like we were talking about earlier, movies such as E.T. the Extraterrestrial, concert performances, airplane identification, the list goes on and on. And they have here a 1982 Viewmaster 3D viewer with the Knight Rider disc. It's in good condition and it's in its original box, and it's valued at $150. And they have a vintage TrueView 3-dimensional viewer with the original box, and it's valued at $55. Then they have the Novel View, which they said was another one of their competitors. Was made by the Novel Art Company of Long Island, New York in the 30s. It says they're hard to find in excellent condition. It says, notice the film box and part of Three Little Kittens film. Of course, I can't show you that, but it's a really nice box that it comes in. It doesn't have a price on that. And then they have the bicentennial viewer. They don't have a price on that one. They have a 1950s TrueView store display with more than 325 TrueView cards and a TrueView viewer. The display was recently offered on eBay for $1,200. Then we have a rare 1960 Barbie Mattel Viewmaster in disc. The disc shows selections of Barbie dolls that Mattel had for sale. Says the combination's worth $500. That would have been a neat way to market Barbies to children.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about it.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, Ronnie, you got a few more little things about the Viewmaster?
I've got a few more items that I looked up, and I have a Roy Rogers Hopalong Cassidy cartoons, $300.
Golly.
Yeah, Roy Rogers and Hopalong Cassidy.
Well,
That's
they're
why.
still popular.
They're always going to be popular, as far in my book.
Well, let's do that test. Keith, do you know who Hopalong Cassidy is?
I know the names, but I don't. I never watched any of the repeats or anything.
So it's sliding out, Ronnie.
But you know what he done and who he was.
Kinda. I wasn't big into westerns. Anybody else probably, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't huge into westerns. I knew the
cowboy
names.
You knew he was a cowboy, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we were getting at.
You're still there. But now his kids
No,
be over
Yeah, my
there,
kids won't know.
be over with.
unless you tell them.
True.
Yeah. I have a Viewmaster cutter for the Mark II stereo camera in excellent condition, plus 2 blank reels. Brought $279. I have another Stereomatic 500 3D projector. Had 17 bids. A lot of interest in that one. Must have worked good. Brought $274.69. I had a huge lot of 850 plus Sawyer's Mickey Mouse reels and projector. And remember, the Sawyer's was the early version of the Viewmaster. Brought $225. Fallout 3 Semtech 1000 super rare promotional Viewmaster. This was just the Viewmaster itself we're talking about. One promotional item was $275. I have a vintage Sawyer's S1 cast iron Viewmaster. I've never seen a cast iron Viewmaster.
Boy.
Projector. This is a projector.
We know one thing about that one. You don't pick it up to look at
It
it.
would be very heavy. I saw on one that they were talking about the projector was so heavy they only shipped it ground, and it was $45 just for the shipping just in the United States.
You know that's heavy then.
Yeah, it had to be heavy. That's what I thought at the time. But that brought $260. But now this guy only had $13 on his shipping, so he must have lost a little on that.
Well, he probably made it up on the sale.
Yeah.
You know, you see that a lot on eBay.
Yes.
Where it says free shipping. Well, they can afford to ship it to you free if it's an item that they made $300 or $400
They bought
on.
it for a little of nothing.
Yeah.
We have another Stereomatic 500 projector in excellent condition. Brought $199. Viewmaster restored black color Model D focusing LED. This one that I was talking about that had been redone. Lighted viewer and box, $249. A huge lot of over 100 Viewmaster reels. Single sets and collections, $249. 1999 Celebrity Cruises. This is some newer Viewmasters. Display ship with the lighted viewer and the real toy. Had $300, so he accepted the best offer. Who knows what that might have been. We had a vintage 1940s Sawyer's clamshell Viewmaster viewer. 7 blue reels with gold foil. Brought $249.99. Had 2 bids. We had a vintage lot of 41 Viewmaster sealed reel packets, 60s. Brought $234.
It sounds like to me that stuff's expensive now. Still,
those reels are really high dollar, and that's we're just talking about reels here.
Yeah.
Brought $234 and 11 bids. And
well, that's a serious collector there, though.
yes, probably a lot of watchers on that one too. When you have a lot of bids, you have a lot of watchers usually. We have another vintage Viewmaster collection. Brought $200, $50 shipping on that.
So it must have been heavy.
Yeah, well, this was just.
How much time we got left, Keith?
Whenever 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Well, let's couple minutes, Ronnie. So
Okay, I've got probably another page here, and I got a huge lot of over 580 Viewmaster reels, single sets and collections. Brought $250. Like you say, shipping was free with that one. Huge Viewmaster lot. Viewer cases, 400 plus reels. And some of these were from the personal. 26 bids on that and brought $223.
you think a lot of this they're buying for Christmas, for gifts, or you think?
Well, we're looking at sold items here from September and October.
I just noticed you had a December sale there.
There's one December one there. Yeah, I just was wanting to see stuff that it actually sold, and what it brought. We had a rare lot of 36 Viewmaster 1010 Tron. Astro Disney Battle Planets brought $209. Viewmaster restored black color Model D focusing LED lighted viewer, another.
All right, let's give them one more price and we got to get out of here.
$224.95.
All right, you think we earned our keep today?
I think we did.
What do you say, Ray?
Oh, he made it.
You figure $225 to $250 for those projectors.
Yeah.
If you get one that works.
So if you wanted to get into a good hobby, you can buy the 60s version of that with a lot of discs for, I seen one here that had 60-something discs and 2 Viewmaster for $36. So if you wanted a neat little hobby and not spend a lot of money, you can. Now, if you get serious like the ones you read off, those high dollar ones, you can start out though real reasonable to get into a really nice hobby.
But you get you a good viewer, you can still go out to yard sales and flea markets and find those reels.
Yeah.
You can still buy those pretty reasonable, if you get out and look.
Well, let's get out of here. Next week we're going to talk about toys, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure are.
Since it's getting close to Christmas.
Yeah.